Marques Ogden is a former NFL football player, offensive lineman for several different teams, locally to Titans. Of course, that's the closest one to us, so we resonate with that the most. But he has a great story. So his story started in the NFL, but it's not where his story ended. And he left the NFL, went and built his own business. That business crashed and burned, and then he had to rebuild from there. So when he came a couple years ago to our conference, he came and shared his story of success, height of success, and then crashing down to failure and having to start over. We've invited him back because our audience really resonated with the story that he told, his struggles, his outcomes, his success, and we wanted to kind of see exactly what's happened in the last couple of years to explode his business to where it is today. He speaks all over the country for all different sizes of audiences. He is excited to come back to Hopkinsville Community College for our 8th annual Regional Entrepreneur Conference and to share again with us. He's kept in touch with our attendees. He has kept in touch with me. I've followed his story. He's written another book, and we're excited to hear about this success cycle and how that could help us in our businesses. Marques is the type of person, he's down to earth. You can connect with him, you can have a conversation with him, and you feel like you're talking to a friend. He also gives back. He likes to go visit Boys and Girls Clubs. He likes to go visit with NFL groups with youth. And so he is just an all-around great speaker, person, friend, father, and we're super excited to have him back again this year.
Mr. Ogden and the business eventually went bankrupt after Mr. Ogden's lost almost $2 million on one project in a time period just under 90 days. As an ex-banker, I can feel the pain, let me tell you. I understand how that rolls. Sometimes the day gets you instead of you getting the day, right? At his darkest point, the NFL came in and helped Mr. Ogden restructure his life. With hard work and determination, he became a motivational speaker and a marketing leader, helping to build up others to succeed. Through it all, Mr. Ogden dealt with his own personal demons of drinking and gambling, and to make it regardless of the obstacles that were in his path. We are honored today to have him with us today, and if you would, join me in welcoming him.
That's it.
Cowboys fan.
Cowboys fan.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? My name is Marques Ogden. I'm going to talk to you all about the success cycle. But before I do that, 2 years ago, I was here as a speaker. And 2 years ago, my business was in dire financial distress, and I was in a lot of debt. I had not a good system how to make money, and I was really focused on just getting the dollar and not creating value for my clients and my potential clients. Ladies and gentlemen, when I was here in 2017, I had over $10,000 of debt, and my business was floundering. You would never have known it, because I was so focused on just getting contracts and business, and I stopped focusing on people and creating value for people. When you create value for people, the business will come. But if you don't do that first, your business will never reach its full potential. So, are you ready to create real value for your clients?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Now, real value comes from figuring out what does that potential client need. I have been around so many people that do sales calls. The first thing they do when they get on the phone is they run their mouth. The first thing they do, hi, my name is X, X, and X. I can help you with this and this. I'm like, well, wait a second. Can I talk? I'm a potential client. If you're trying to be a person that sells a product, tell the person who you are, what your name is, a little bit about yourself, and then be quiet. Let them talk. Potential clients want one thing. They want to be heard. Because people are always trying to talk to them. They never get a chance to speak, and they never get a chance to tell you what their real need is. So if you offer a solution to somebody but don't know their problem, how are you going to help them? You can't do it. You can't help anybody. So I'm trying to tell you, this success cycle can work for anybody, for any business. Doesn't matter. It's built on 3 things. We'll talk about that in a second. Here is a man that built his empire of excellent service and the success cycle. Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs. Smartphones, iPads, AirPods. What does Apple do? Apple disrupted the industry with their product, but then was innovative and gave a solution to that disruption. Who's ever heard of Uber? Okay? Who's ever heard of Apple? Okay? These businesses, who's ever heard of Amazon? Who's ever heard of Netflix? I spoke last week in Rhode Island on the same stage as one of the co-founders of Netflix, Mr. Mitch Lowe. And what did he say? He said what they did was through their market research found that people were not happy with going to the video store. They were tired of bad service, incomplete things on the aisles. They were just not happy with what they were getting at the store. So they decided to bring the video store to people's homes. They tried to sell the Blockbuster. Blockbuster said, you will never survive. 3 years later, Blockbuster shuts its doors. 3 years later. This man was brilliant. Brilliant. He found what people's needs were, to have technology in the palm of your hand. I've been around so many great people. I'm going to show you that in the speech. And all of them are stuck to their phone to get business done. Yeah. If he had not done that, somebody else would have, but he was the master. Okay? The success cycle. This is what I have done the last 12 to 18 months to go from a floundering business to a multi-6-figure on its way to a 7-figure business that I'm going to share with you. You can do this. If I can do it, so can you. I'm no better than you. I'm just a guy. That's all I am. Did I play football? Yes. But my business now has nothing to do with football. 0. So if I can do this, why can't you? Ambition. Ambition is about what goals are you trying to achieve. 42% of people that write their goals down are more likely to achieve them. It seems so simple, yet it's so hard. I've asked people, Marcus, I want to be just like you. Okay. Have you written down your goals? Well, no. Why don't you start there? If you don't know what you're trying to aspire to be or trying to do, how can you ever get there? It's not possible. So ambition is the first part of the success cycle. The second part is drive. What is your why? Your why is going to fuel you when people tell you no. For 30 straight months, I was told no for every speaking job I went after. No. But my why was to help people not make the same financial ruin mistakes that I made. So that fueled me every time I was told no. Because I knew I had a story to share if I could just get through the walls and break the barriers down, which is why most people never succeed. They are not willing to endure the distress, the pain, and the agony of being told no. So find your drive, find your why, and you can succeed. And the last one is good old-fashioned hard work. Focus on you. What do you do well? What can you bring to the table that others cannot? People might sell the same product, but it's not the same service. I mentioned earlier, Uber, Amazon, these businesses brought to the table something innovative. But behind that, they brought the hard work. Mitch Lowe says from Netflix, they failed so many times at things to do for their industry. But they never gave up because they knew if they could be successful bringing that to the forefront, they could have success for their brand. So focus on you. So I'm now going to tell you my short story of who I am, and then I'm going to challenge you and going to give you some more information and actionable steps to put into your own life. So that's my father on the left, me in the middle, my brother on the right, who was 6'9" in the 8th grade. Played football for 12 years. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Played against the Titans many times. He's good friends with Eddie George. Now, what did the man on the left teach us? He raised both of us by himself. From a family perspective, what's missing from that picture? A mother who was missing from our lives for many years. Many years. My mother left us on Christmas morning. She said I had to go find myself. And my response today was, I didn't know you were lost. But that's okay. The only thing he wanted in the divorce was the two things that he has in the picture. The money she took, everything she took. He said, I'll give you whatever you want. Give me those two. That's all I want. That man taught us a success cycle from that age until I'm now where I am today. So the way I live my life is the way that he would be living his life if he was alive today. So what I'm trying to say is I've learned and I've been through this my entire life. But I never realized it until 12 months ago when it was brought to the forefront to me by a woman who helped coach me to be my best. I got drafted into the National Football League in 2003. Very blessed to do so. The man that drafted me also believed in the success cycle. Jack Del Rio. Coach Jack Del Rio told us at the end of the day, football is not your forever life. You all have to stick together and you have to learn that you all have value beyond the football field. I am close friends with almost all of my teammates from that team because Jack talked about setting goals. He talked about what is your why. He talked about having hard work because he was a rookie head coach at that time. I was a rookie player. He was a rookie head coach. So throughout my whole career, I remember him talking about always setting goals and always believing that you could do that no matter what life adversity you are going to face. Because in football, ladies and gentlemen, that season we went 1-15. Yeah, you can say that again. So it was really not good. And what happened was the way he taught us made us stick together when everybody else thought we were going to turn on each other. So what I'm trying to say is I've been seeing this pattern. I used the success cycle to get to the National Football League. It got me that I was ambitious, I was driven, and I had hard work. Every time in my life when I brought that to whatever I was doing, I had success. But I just never realized that until about a year ago. My construction company. After the NFL, I struggled with transition. Business owners, when you're trying to start something new, it never is easy, is it? No. It's challenging. It's difficult. You figure out, why am I doing this? And I tell people all the time, you just have to understand you're gonna face adversity the first few years of business. Everyone does. Do not look at Amazon today. Look at Amazon back in the late 90s. Don't look at Netflix today. Look at them back in the late 90s when they were trying to figure out how to beat Blockbuster. This is my life from 2008 to 2013. I became one of the youngest, largest, most successful African-American subcontractors in the state of Maryland, in the city of Baltimore, in the area of site work. Wow. I was doing almost $14 million in business. But here is the problem that I'm going to tell you about right now. The success cycle got me there, but there's a three-part zone I call: a comfort zone, a breakthrough zone, and an arrogant zone. In the comfort zone, you're never going to reach your full potential because you're always scared to go out and try something new. In the breakthrough zone, that's where the magic happens. If you learn how to live there and stay there, you'll always have success. But unfortunately for me, I went from the breakthrough zone to the arrogant zone. And when you hit the arrogant zone, ladies and gentlemen, disaster is imminent. It's just gonna happen. It's just a matter of time. So this was my reality. I went bankrupt. Home, cars, everything gone. Gone in less than 90 days. Millions of dollars out the door that I was supposed to get paid back by one of the largest developers and general contractors in our country. But because I trusted them and I did not get a signed change order, when I did the work, I did on a handshake deal. Went to go get paid my money. They said, Marques, thank you very much. We're going to deny your change order. I said, why? Because we can. I said, one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to see a big, not happy person. I remember sitting at a table. The developer was on the other side. I'm over here. The only thing that kept me from jumping across the table with him was going to jail, which I knew I was going to do. I said, you know what? It's not worth it. He's not worth it. So what did I do? Left that meeting, went home, told my then girlfriend, who is now my wife, who I had just met on Match about 6 months earlier. And then I was telling him to tell her, after leaving her job and bring up to be with me, that, oh yeah, honey, on top of right now we're struggling in our relationship, oh yeah, we're flat broke. So imagine having that conversation with someone about 6 months into a relationship. That's why my book was called Sleepless Nights. Because I had many of those for many, many days. But here's the thing. I ended up filing the bankruptcy, shut everything down, and I moved from Baltimore to Carolina. Now, I had a job at Merrill Lynch. I was excited to get my life together. Not so much. Got fired after about 2 months because I was not doing well on my practice tests, which is fine. Got another job with a construction company. That next day, got fired the next Thursday. So I was fired twice in a week. Again, my now wife, that was a long conversation. She didn't talk to me for about 2 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, the only job I could get was a janitor. That's it. Now look at me, former NFL athlete, college degree, millions of dollars in the pros, millions of dollars in my construction business. No one thought I could do anything else other than football. That's it. So what did I do? I coached football on the side to the youth, but it wasn't enough money. That's the only job I could get. At $8.25 an hour, scrubbing baseboards, cleaning tables, taking the trash out, being told, Marques, get out of the way, as I'm trying to vacuum the halls. No one knew about my prior life and they didn't care. And you know what? I blamed everybody for my failure. So the success cycle got me to the NFL. It built me an 8-figure business. But once I got arrogant, everything went away. Crashed. As a business owner, you can never get complacent. That is the number one word that kills any brand or business is complacency. Because the minute you stop trying to achieve new goals and become stagnant, you stop growing and you start dying. It's just the way it is. You cannot do anything if you're not reaching new goals. Not gonna happen. So this was my reality for $8.25 an hour. Everybody says, what's this? Milk. This was let me ask you a question. Do you all in here know your life-changing moment? Do you know the moment where you said, man, I'm tired of this bullshit? Man, I'm tired of getting dealt to me what life wants to throw at me. I'm tired of taking the scraps that people think I deserve. This was my moment. As a hardworking janitor at 3 o'clock in the morning, took the trash out, someone spoiled milk got on my bare skin. Gross milk on my skin. Dumped the trash, went and sat down. I said, where's my life at? Where? Who am I? What have I become? I have become a statistic. 78% of NFL athletes file bankruptcy after their retirement. I became a statistic because I made a mistake in my business. But here's the thing. I could either stay a statistic or I could have got my life together. This life-changing moment said, Marcus, it is time for you to get your life together. And I said, all right, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna write out my goals, ambition. I'm gonna write out my goals to become a keynote speaker. Start doing that, having a little success here or there, but nothing consistent. So I had ambition, but I didn't have the drive. So what was the why? The why was to help people who had made mistakes not go as far as I did. I wanted to stop people, especially athletes, from going bankrupt and business owners. So I developed the why, kept going on, decided to write this book, Sleepless Nights, became a bestseller in 2 days. So I had my drive, got me a little bit further, but I kept getting told no. Then I said, all right, I'm gonna really work hard and focus on what I can do. So that became the success cycle. Ambition, drive, hard work. I said, all right, now that's me speaking on stage for Home Depot at their national headquarters in 2018. So after I left you all, I decided that I was missing something. And what I was missing was hard work. I was focusing on other people's success and why was I not living their life? Like Tracy said, people are on social media, they post this. Oh man, great car, they post that. But that's what they want you to see. You don't see the mess. You don't see it. They shield that from you. So once I decided to bring all those together, that's when my life started getting better. So this is what I'm trying to tell you all. In your business, in your side hustle, your full-time business, whatever the case may be, do you have ambition? Do you really know the goals you're trying to reach? Do you have drive? What's the why that's going to push you when people tell you no? What are you hardworking? Or are you just talking a good game? There's a difference. You can talk all day. Talk's cheap and easy. Are you doing the actions that it takes? What's your name, young lady? Right here? Yeah. Jessica? So Jessica and I were talking about her business. She has a clothing brand. And I was listening to her talk. I like the fact she has it geared to a specific niche. I told her about a guy named Daniel Larick who owns a company called Grunt Style. He started just like Jessica, out of the back of his car. He now runs a multi-$100 million a year business in Chicago. His niche was selling clothes to military personnel. That was his niche. He, just like her, just like Jessica, started out of the back of his trunk 7 to 8 years ago. And now where is he? So if he can do it, why can't she? He had no resources. He had no help. He didn't have anybody backing him. He just had a dream, a vision of what to do. He had the ambition. So what I'm trying to tell you all is just because you might be from one area or another, or have this business or another, it doesn't matter. If you can bring the success cycle into your life, it's going to greatly increase your chances of living your best life. That's all I'm here to tell you. So I have a challenge for you. Are you willing to do what it takes to elevate your brand and the value that you bring your clients? People who are successful in business have value for people and value for their clients. Look at people that are successful. Elon Musk with Tesla, great service. Apple, Microsoft, Google. These brands pride themselves on excellent service and creating value for people that they come into contact with. If you can have that for your business, you can go far. But you have to figure out what are the ambitions, what are the drive, and what is the hard work that you have to do. You've already been through this. Now, I'm going to break each one of these down further, okay, and give you some key takeaways in each one so you can start to write these out for yourself. Definition of ambition: creating a successful plan to achieve your vision for you and your brand. Create a plan. What are you trying to do? Ambition is all about creating, I call that a roadmap to get to your vision. A roadmap is 1 year or under to get you to your vision destination. So here are the takeaways. Set realistic goals. Don't try to go out and have a $100 million company in a year. That's not realistic. Do not try to do something that you know you can't do, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up not reaching that goal, and it's going to be very problematic for you. Step out of your comfort zone. So many people are afraid to just try something new because they're afraid of failing. When I started Keynote speaking, I was deathly afraid of it. I used to sweat a lot. I was very nervous. I would stammer. I was not good at giving my truth. So if I can become a successful speaker, why can't you become successful in your chosen business? It's not that difficult. You just have to take the leap and step out of your comfort zone, and then build a roadmap for your success. I said earlier, a roadmap is from 0 to 12 months. If you cannot achieve the roadmap you have for yourself, it's going to be very difficult, not impossible, very difficult to achieve the long-term play. Now, here's a lady that some of you might know, some of you might not know. When I came to see you guys, I had not met her. Sitting down with her changed my life. And she is by far the most ambitious woman I've ever seen in my life. Mel Robbins. Anybody? Who's ever heard of Mel Robbins? Show of hands. She wrote the 5-second rule. 9 years ago, she will tell you she was an alcoholic, she was broke, and she was about to lose everything. She says she was sitting on the couch and she saw a rocket launch. It went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launched. And she said for the first time in 3 months, she got out of bed, stopped feeling sorry for herself, and made steps to get her life together. Her book has sold over 10 million copies worldwide. She had a program called Kick Ass with Mel. That's exactly what I was doing there in her studio in Boston. That was the #1 most globally downloaded book this summer. All right? If you want her on stage for a keynote speech, it's $50,000 for her time. 50 grand. But again, ambitious. She writes goals out. She looks to set new goals. She looks to achieve new things. That's what she does. So that's ambition. Drive. Your why behind what you do. Plain and simple. You have to have a why, so when you get told no, you will not quit on yourself. Set a clear focus. Motivation versus inspiration. Who here knows the difference between motivation and inspiration? Anybody have any idea? Sir?
Motivation comes from within, and inspiration is something that you see out.
Very good. That's about the same thing I have in a different way, but very, very close. Anybody else? So motivation comes from the word motive, which means that I want you to do something because I want you to do it. Inspiration is you breathe life into someone for the long-term change. So when you motivate someone, it's short-term. When you inspire someone, they want to make a change for the long haul. And this is where, as a business owner, how can we inspire our staff to achieve greatness? I was talking to Jason earlier. He's trying to grow his business. But like he said, he's having trouble finding the right type of employees that are going to match his vision. Am I saying that correctly? So how can you inspire those people, Jason? You got to figure that out. Because when people are inspired around you, then that makes the whole boat move and row that much easier. But that's where I struggled before when I got here in 2017. I was motivating people, but no one was inspired to make a real change. So that's why my business was stuck in a rut in 2017, which put pressure on me, my family, and that's why I was not doing so well with my overall sustainability. Make sense? So as a business owner, figure out how to inspire your people. When you talk about drive, he is everywhere. The Rock's why was to always help his parents who were raising him, mother and father. In 1995, he had $7 in his pocket. Today, in that picture he posted, he has now done $11 billion in global box office sales just in his movies alone. $11 billion. If you want him to advertise on his Instagram, it's $5 million to advertise on his Instagram. Here is someone that in 1995 didn't have $1 to his name. But his drive to help his parents pushed him through when people told him, no, just go be a wrestler. Try to go back to the CFL. This was his drive. So if he can do it, why can't you? You know, you have to figure out what is the reason that you're doing what you're doing. Everybody has a why, but you have to figure that out. And when you're doing your marketing, email marketing, social media marketing, and networking, your why should be telling that to people in a way where you come across trying to create value for them. Your why has to come across as genuine and authentic to make people want to do business with you for the long haul. Does that make sense? So the more authentic you are, the easier it will be to close sales. Hard work, outwork your competition. Straightforward. But here are the takeaways. Focus on you, build your power team. Everyone wants to be successful, but every person I know that's successful has built a power team around them. Every last one. When you have a power team that's built around you, you can achieve greatness and have multiple streams of income. That was my problem in 2017. I relied just on speaking, where today I have speaking, I have coaching, I have books, I have online courses. So if one area is struggling, you as an owner and entrepreneur are not putting yourself in distress. That is important as well. Now, this lady who I've also met has a very successful brand, and she has built her empire off of that brand. Kathy Ireland. Kathy Ireland, famous swimsuit model. She took and leveraged her celebrity status and has built a $500 million real estate empire. How does she do that? She failed in other areas with her businesses, but once she built the right team around her, she was able to push forward with her businesses. So these are people that I have now met in these last 2 years. When I came to you all in 2017, I was literally someone who was struggling to do any type of business consistently. I was at a road's end. I was just so far gone to where I am today. So I'm just going to leave. Who has any questions for me just kind of like on anything about the success cycle or anything in general? I'm going to kind of close up. Yes, ma'am.
Can we purchase your book?
So my first book, Sleepless Nights, is on Amazon. And then my second book, The Success Cycle, will be out for pre-order in the summer. And then you can pre-order that on Amazon as well. So yeah, you can get it right there on Amazon. And then, like I said, it'll be out. We're working on the release date right now, but it'll be for pre-order sometime in the summer. Not sure the exact date yet. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
What's the best way to build a power team?
That's an excellent question. The best way to build a power team is, okay, so let me ask you a question. What are you trying to do?
I'd like to build multiple streams of income.
What kind of business are you trying to do? You have any idea?
I was going to go with, I still got to work to pay my bills in the meantime.
Of course.
So, like an online, e-commerce.
Okay.
Most of the time.
Okay, so we'll start there. So everybody, in order to build wealth, you have to have a business that you can set up for yourself. But to pay your bills, you have to have a job. Yeah. Keep a job. So when I was trying to become a speaker, I was doing janitor work and football coaching. I never stopped that because I had to pay the bills. People who do not find ways to pay their bills and only have a vision of having a business, those are the ones that struggle. But for a power team, if you're gonna do an e-commerce online business, the first person on your power team has to be a great website person, all right? When you find the right website person, then from there, you will branch out. So like for me, I was trying to do speaking. So I had to find the right social media marketing person to help me grow my platform. If you don't have a platform as a speaker, it's hard to get business. So I found that person first. Then as I worked with that person, we started to together build that power team. So for you, find a website person that you want to work with. Then from there, you will branch out and find other people that are going to come in to the power team. Does that make sense? So you always have to find that person that's kind of like your right-hand person. And for your type of business, it's all about your website. How does it look? How does it flow? Is it easy to navigate? So you have to start there and then expand your team from there. Don't try to build too many people too quickly, because that's when things can falter and they can break your foundation. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Yes?
Hi, Marcus. Well, I'm a resume writer, and my name is Deborah, What did you give to them to encourage them to hold a meeting with you? Did you give them a capability statement or a media kit? What did you do?
For who?
To the people whom you wanted to speak in front of.
Oh, great question. So when I was trying to build the business of that, I had to have great marketing material. So for me, it started out with, I had to have a media kit, I had a one sheet, and then I would have a website, I would push people to my website. But again, I had to hire that social media marketing person to build and develop that content. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're trying to build a business, the number one thing you have to do is market. If people don't know you exist, they can't buy your product. So the 3 best ways to market are email marketing, social media marketing, and networking. How many of you have an email database? Raise your hands. All right? How many of you use that database? How do you use a database? How do you? Email blast? No, newsletters? Good. Blogs? These are ways to engage people. Most business owners do not have an email database. They don't have a CRM. So they are flying by the seat of their pants trying to get new clients and new business leads without keeping a program for their current business cards or people. So that's great if you have one and utilize it. Social media. Who here is active on their social media? By active, how often are you on there? Every day? Who here has a LinkedIn? Who here is active on LinkedIn? I saw that. LinkedIn is the best way to build your business on social media. 38% of people on Facebook do business together. 48% of people do it through LinkedIn. Because in LinkedIn, it's basically people who are interacting with each other, trying to solicit business. So if you are not active on LinkedIn, you should be doing that. That is how I've built my business a lot stronger these last 2 years. As I got better and I got more engaging content. When you are on LinkedIn or any social media, don't try to always be perfect. Don't try to always show everything's great. Try to show some struggles that you've overcome to get where you are. That is what's helped me so much in my business is I've been telling people the struggles, the issues, the problems to get to where I am today. I don't always say, oh, everything's been great. Oh, I've been speaking forever. I don't do that because if you come across like that, people on social media are not going to like you. They're not going to like you at all. Like, well, hell, why do I want to look at your stuff? Because all you're talking about is how great you are. Where's your struggle? Where's your pain? Where's your failure? Where is it? Because if I'm looking to do business with you, I want to know everything about you. I want to know what makes you you. So people who are only putting out positive stuff all the time with no struggles or no stories behind it are the ones that are not capturing great market share space on social media. I'm telling you because I've been there. Between 2013 and 2017, I was all about perfect image. That's all I was about. And I got no business off social media. 2017 till now, I have more of a story.
Now, do you think that applies to retail?
Do you own the business? Yes, absolutely. Damon John, who owns FUBU, says he puts out what he went through for pain to get to where he is today. Here's the thing, think about it this way. If I'm a consumer gonna put my money in your pocket and you tell me in some fashion you struggle to get where you are, if I've struggled, which all of us have, I'm gonna put my money with you. Yes. If you tell me you're all perfect and you have no problems, no issues, like, well, hell, then you don't need my money. You don't need me. This is where people get it misconstrued. Don't go out telling everything wrong about you, but tell them the struggles you've had to get to where you are. There's a fine line. When you do that, it's called being authentic. And when you're authentic, people want to put their money in your hands.
I had a really bad day yesterday.
Don't we all? Don't we all? Don't we all? But this, and ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is my truth. As a speaker, I am not afraid to tell you all that I've filed bankruptcy. I've been almost homeless. I've struggled when I was up on this stage 2 years ago. I'm not afraid to tell you that because it's true. But it also makes you realize, wait a second, okay, Marcus, I've struggled some type of way. I've had a potential bankruptcy. I've had time when money has not flowed in. I like this guy because he's being real. And that's where every entrepreneur has to understand. Your power is in your story. What Mel Robbins told me that I love and I use to this day and I'll use forever, there's a powerful message in your mess. There's a powerful message in your mess. But here's the thing, are you willing to share it? That's the thing. So many people in business are like, I'm all perfect, I'm all perfect, I'm all perfect. Then you're like, well then, geez, man, you don't need my money. You don't need my business. You don't need me to support you because you already got it over there. From 2013 to 2017, that was the biggest mistake I made, was trying to always paint a perfect image on social media. The minute I started sharing real content, people wanted to engage me more. When they engaged me more, they started to buy from me. Speaking, coaching, they started because they could see I could relate to them. People can't relate to football. Most people can't. But they can relate to a struggle, a failure, a setback. So I talk about that, and I talk about how I have come out to the other side, but I've endured some pain to get there. Anybody else? Oh, yes, sir.
On the motivational speaking side, as far as having availability like I do, the availability of what you call a captive audience, like the ROTC programs. I'm former Air Force, and I try to motivate kids to consider the military as an option that you have to get training for something that you may be interested in doing, like in aviation.
Right.
Many of our young people, especially in the minority community, don't know that aviation is wide open for women and other minorities, but they don't have the knowledge or they don't know someone who's been there. And thankfully, I was there. I've experienced it. I trained the people, and I've been about halfway around the world, learning my trade and learning how to train other people to do it.
Right.
Now I want to motivate our kids to have that as an understanding that, the military is something that you can consider and that you need to use.
Right, absolutely. So I spoke yesterday at the Boys and Girls Club of Hopkinsville, about 150 kids. And I told them, I said, I'm from Washington, D.C., from one of the worst areas of Washington, D.C. What kept me safe and kept me out of trouble was the Boys and Girls Club. So like I told them, whatever you want to be in life, never let someone tell you can't be that. Because I was told that my entire life. Having a brother who was a top 5 NFL draft pick, who everybody loved, everybody wanted to be on their TV show. I mean, and I loved my brother, but we're not the same person. So they're like, well, Marcus, you can't be like your brother, so you're gonna fail. I heard it my whole life. Speaking, you're never gonna learn how to tell your story. You're never gonna learn how to give people actionable items. You're not good enough, Marcus. You think you're gonna be the next Black Tony Robbins? I heard it all. But I never gave up on myself. The only person who can make you quit is you. That's it. That is it. If you stop believing in yourself, that's when bad things happen. So in 2017, when I was floundering, I could have walked away and got a job. Or I could have dug deep to where I am today, doing what I'm doing, living life on my terms. I like being my own boss, deciding who and where I do things. As long as I'm inspiring people, I'm a happy person. That's all I care about. Ma'am?
You had mentioned in the success cycle about the arrogant zone.
Yes.
And with you being, with you going through that and now you're out of that, what do you do? So this is kind of a personal question.
Sure.
What do you do now to keep yourself out of that zone? I mean, I know we still have a drive and things like that, but personally and internally, what do you do to keep yourself out of that zone?
Two things. Number one, I have a coach that is responsible for my development every single week that I work with. That coach doesn't care what success I have. All they care about is I'm staying the same person, which I always will be. But it's nice to have that person that is accountable to you. And the second thing is I never stop learning. That was my biggest issue with Caden. That's my construction company. That was my biggest issue with my success in general. I got successful, I got complacent, but I stopped learning. The minute you stop learning, get out of that business. That is something you can do very easily to manage yourself, is continuing to learn at all costs. If you do that, you will be successful. Anyone else? So here's my final thought. Earn your spot every single day. Whatever you want to do, own a retail clothing store, own a car wash, own another clothing store, it doesn't matter. You are responsible for your own success. People always say, well, I want to do this, or I want to do that. Focus on what you can do the best. Get laser focused on that. Then build off. You talk about building a power team. We're building a power team. That's what happens to most people. They get scattered trying to figure out, trying to build that person and that person all at the same time, and nothing gets done. Start with one person. Start with one vision and build from there. So again, for you, find that right web developer, that right website designer, start there and expand your power team from there. If you don't have a website designer, your business will never get off the ground. So in closing, earn your spot every single day. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do something. I've been told for years I would never succeed at speaking. But now I'm on stage, going to different cities, helping other people and coaching others. So if I can do it, why can't you? Thank you.